People keep saying that black women spend the most money on their hair, but I worked within the hair industry behind the chair for over a decade, and I am here to tell you that cannot be further from reality. The real discussion is, why do black cosmetologists feel pressured into keeping their prices super duper low? Meanwhile, their ethnic groups in hair salons start sometimes at $1,200 for hair color, and $4,000 has always been the price for hair extensions. This is normal in their hair salons. This is not overpriced. So the question is, why is the conversation always about black women, when I know for a fact black women do not spend the most in the hair industry? This is the debate that everyone keeps repeating. So people keep repeating the same statistic that black women spend the most money in hair care, but most of the people who are throwing this statistic out there are people who have never actually worked behind the chair or really deep in the hair industry, because if you did, you would not say that. And moreover, they definitely do not understand how pricing works in the hair industry, the real price comparison. So let's talk numbers. For typical hair services, when we're talking about black women, and I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a black woman too, so you can get offended if you want to, but I can talk about myself and my people. This is the typical price list in a African American salon or in a black salon, right? Standard right now, like a silk press, and I'm gonna do what we call like a cheap hair salon on the cheaper side, and then to the more expensive, right? So when we're talking about a silk press, for an example, your prices will range anywhere from about $35 to about $250 on a more higher end, right, for a silk press or a shampoo and a blowout. When we're talking about an install, right, that's a sew-in, you are gonna range anywhere between $50 for your little hood beauty shop to anywhere up to like $400, and even sometimes $1,200 when we're talking about a high end. But that's for your more so like celebrity type of hairstylist. They like this sew-in $1,600, maybe even $2,000, right? But remember, this is starting, we going from $50 to $1,500, $2,000. But if we're really being real, the real reality is, for a silk press, I'm gonna put it around like $85. That's about standard. And then when we're moving, like I said, then we're moving on to sew-ins. Standard is anywhere from about $50 to about $400, right? And then when we're talking about hair color, when we're talking about bundles, the bundles are costing anywhere between like $100, depending on how many bundles you're getting, up to like $1,000 to $1,200 for some bundles, depending on what you're getting. But just being real, all of my clients did not have it like that. So standard, they would be paying up to about $300 to $400 on the bundles. But again, for the very, very high end service, and again, I'm talking about cosmetologists or hairstylists that are all on YouTube and social media and Instagram and all of the things, we stopping at around $2,000. And lately, black women kind of think that fusion eye tips are new. They are not new. They have been around for over 2 decades, over 3 decades. Really, check the link in the description box below. But black women are just now beginning to pay like $4,000 plus for those types of hair extensions. But I digress. Now this is where most people get mixed up, right? Because even I've taken you from really low end to really, really high end, but let's go ahead and compare some pricing. Now other salons, let's say balayage. This is what balayage looks like. Balayage is ranging anywhere between $400 to $900, and they put the color in your hair, and they may blow dry your hair and then flat iron it. Or some women walk out with wet hair because they know they're gonna shampoo their hair in the morning, or they're gonna blow dry it in like later on that day or whatever, so they're like, don't worry about it. But they're paying anywhere between $400 and $900 just for balayage. So when we get into blonding and highlights and going from a level 1, which is black, maybe to platinum blonde to start, and mind you, you have to have multiple sessions, and this is going to range anywhere between $600 and $1,200, and sometimes it's way higher than that because most colorists in other salons charge by the hour. Sometimes you'll need multiple sessions, and every session will be $1,200. It's normal. This is not them being overpriced. These are normal prices. Hand-tied hair extensions, which are something that have been around for decades, that's going to range anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000. And again, this is not a low price, and I also need you to understand that the hair is not included in that price. So it being $1,500 to $3,000, that is all labor. Hair is never in conjunction. In other hair salons, everything is always a la carte, meaning they don't do bundles like, oh, this service comes with a color, a shampoo, a cut, a blow dry. Absolutely not. You get your hair colored, that's one price. You get your hair cut, that's another price. You get your hair blown out, that's another price. You get curls in your hair, that's another price. And none of these things are abnormal. Some people watching right now may be like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Well, guess what? That is the normal salon etiquette. And fusion I-tip extensions have been around for decades. Most black women are just now becoming aware of fusion I-tip extensions. They're actually doing it an injustice. The reason that it didn't really make it over to black salons is all black women should not have them, and we'll talk about that and we'll talk about that later.
Come with me to get K-tips on my boneless, meatless, skinless hair. I went to Mia at the hair studio 103 to put some meat on these bones, girl. Now, as you can see, my natural hair is really, really thin and fine, so I was a little bit nervous to get Mia did such a great job installing them and making them look so versatile and seamless. Try curly K-tips because I wanted my natural hair set to thrive, and I've heard that K-tips can actually help your hair grow if installed correctly, and I feel like we're on the right track. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, this is a very, very long process, but it was so worth it. Mia did a good job with making sure the K-tips were the size of my natural hair, so she didn't put them in really, really thick and bulky. She made sure they matched my natural texture and the density of my hair. Now, as you can see, the hair install was super duper seamless. You couldn't see anything, even if you got close. And my hair is a little bit shorter in the back. I wanted it cut short, so I'll be able to blend it a little bit later. I left the salon with the big floofy hairstyle, and when I got home, I added some mousse, and the hair looked absolutely gorgeous. Now, I feel like I retired the boneless, meatless, skinless hair. We're gonna be...
And it is something that black women were not willing to pay for, because it being $4,000 is not something that's new. I-tips and fusions have been around for decades, longer than I've been licensed, longer than I've had my license, and I've had my license going on 2 decades. So remember, this is not celebrity pricing. This is normal pricing, guys. The part people just don't understand. As someone who worked in the hair industry successfully for over a decade, I am here to tell you, this is something that most people don't realize or are unwilling to accept. But most times black cosmetologists or black hairstylists, braiders are forced to lower their prices. Our community does not allow us to elevate to the level that other communities, stylists and barbers and braiders and all of the things, elevate to. Because let me tell you something, the exact moment that we decide to raise our prices to match our peers, for an example, I used to work at Solar Salons. So if you walk in Solar Salons, and I'm not exaggerating, if it's 20 studios in the building, you may see like 5 of them are black stylists. And sometimes people will have like their price list right outside the door. So imagine being in your room and on your price list is on the wall, and it say for a shampoo blowout you charge $45 because that's all your community will allow you to charge. But they exact same service, right, for a texture that's way easier to do is $200, and y'all rooms right next to each other. Imagine how that feel. We get labeled, but I decided to raise my prices and they still were not high enough. I was labeled as greedy, arrogant, stuck up, not in touch with the culture, and of course greedy and overpriced. even though my prices don't even compare, they're not even 10%. I'm not even getting 10% of what my peers around me are getting, but I'm overpriced. So if we raise our prices to match our peers in the same industry, right, we lose clients. Our clients go to other people in the industry. That's why I gave you the range of like $50 to $1,200, right? But I gave you the normal price range of other hair salons. So right now, with you listening to the sound of my voice, you may be like, oh my God, $1,200, that's ridiculous. But when we do it, everybody in the whole shop that don't have the low prices that we got, they all talking about us. We are the laughing stock of the studios, baby. Guaranteed. I am not exaggerating. But the expectation is that our prices should be low because our clients are black and they can't afford it, and we all struggling together, and we all black and we don't got it. So have really, really low prices, or you greedy and you don't care about your people. So then it becomes horrific because you have excellent cosmetologists that in reality are 10 times better and more well equipped to do certain things to the hair than their counterparts are, that are making triple, quadruple of what they're making. You're stuck doing extremely high level work, girl, for budget prices because you black. Like working in a place like Sola salons or studio salons, if you've had a cosmetologist or a hairstylist or any professional that's worked at a place like that and you walked around, you know, unless you in the area like that, then you are going to notice that your professional may be one of the only black people there, right? But all of our booth rent is the same price. But your most likely your cosmetologist is charging half of what the rest of the women in the building are charging. So we would have conversations, because if you work next door to a woman for 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years, and y'all seeing each other every day, eventually y'all will get a rapport where she'll feel comfortable enough, like, you're so good, why are your prices so low? That's what happened with me, and I ended up just being like, hey, well, my clients can't afford it, or when I do raise my prices, then they leave, and this is the highest that I'll get to go. And they were like, no, Sin, you need to raise your prices. And then when I raised them, they like, I thought you were gonna raise them. I'm like, girl, I did. My shit $85 now. And they're like, Sin, are you serious? Like, you're working for pennies and I can't even do what you do. And if I get amped up after I have a conversation with them and I'm like, yeah, I am worthy of more, you know what, I am good, my prices should be higher. When you go online with your peers, with other black women, and you raise your prices, girl, you get knocked right back down the sides. Like, girl, you are not worth all of that. I can do that myself, girl. No, I can do my hair myself. You are not worth all that, girl. Bye. I could do braids at home myself. I wish I would pay $300. And I understand sometimes everybody money is at a different place. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, and the counterpart, the argument is, remember, don't get upset about what I'm saying. Y'all can argue in the comments, but be respectful. But it's like, the statement that everybody keeps saying is black women spend so much money on hair, where in reality, no, you don't. Black women spend the least amount of money in the hair salon. Black women do not spend the most in the hair industry, and it's insane. It's like one person says something on social media and then everybody just repeat it. Like, it just starts flowing out. It's like, that is a lie from the pits of hell. So this is the industry structure that nobody talks about, because again, most people don't know anything about. For years now, women have been on social media speaking of the hair industry as if they know something about it, where most of your favorite YouTubers are just now becoming cosmetologists and hairstylists, and they're seeing the reality of the industry, which is why they're no longer making videos. They probably get the ick now being a professional cosmetologist, seeing what their videos added to the fight. Let's keep going. Another thing that people don't think about is who actually controls the hair industry, who actually controls wigs and all of the things. The global wig and hair extension industry is worth billions. But the majority of the manufacturing and distribution is outside of the black community. So even though black people and black women on social media and online get a whole bunch of eyes and it looks like there's a whole bunch of demand, I love you so much, but black women, as much as y'all spend on weaves and bundles, y'all are not the #1 wearers of weaves and extensions and not the #1 consumer. I don't care what anybody says.
The clips were before, I would always have a lot of breakage here and here, and so I did not realize when I came to look at this topper that you could do the band, which is for my hair, it's going to be a game changer. A friend of mine who also wears toppers had this one on, and I had to know where she got it. So I came in like that. Makes me so happy.
You know, you discussed your other toppers were secured with clips. Well, welcome to the better world. The better world of a top group that you don't need to use clips, which means no more breakage, no more pulling. This will secure your topper on your head. The Divine topper has this lace front as well as it has this lace part. Your toppers started line. Yeah, that looks so. But they turned this into this. So they did a reverse balayage, did a rooting and some low light. They toned down the yellow to get that perfect match for you that you wanted. Can you hit that for me? I'm going to match it up with your part. Pulling this string down and around. The cap is now stretched down. I'm going to move it back right behind your hairline. Yeah, that looks so good. This little brush I love because it helps it blend, but this looks insane.
It's really cute.
You look so good in it too.
I'm in love with it. Where's the drive over here?
Yeah,
It's so cute. I love it. I love it so much. Where the clips were before, I would
There are different websites, and I'll put some of them up here on YouTube. Certain wig makers that are on YouTube, their wigs start at $5,000 and they stay sold out. If another black cosmetologist, like if I was to put some $5,000 wigs on my website that are just as high of quality of this other woman that's selling it, black women will start making videos about me. People will start making YouTube videos about me like, oh my God, Cyn thinks she big shit. She got $5,000 wigs. Meanwhile, white women are spending $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 on wigs easy. Will they fight and get their money back? Fight with money to get their money back if it's not up to par? Absolutely. But black women are not regularly spending $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12,000 on wigs. It's not happening. Okay, sometimes yes, you have certain celebrity cosmetologists like the Alonzo Arnolds, and that's the first person that popped up in my head. I'm not about to try to think of nobody else, but you got certain celebrity wig people that of course they can charge that much because y'all put them on a certain extent. Not that they don't deserve it, but you put them on a certain level, so you like, oh, they can charge me $10,000 and I'm gonna pay for it regardless of how much it costs. They got 10 million followers, or they do this person hair, or they did Cardi B's hair. So it's like, I love y'all, but black women do not spend the most money, and it may look like it, but you know what else they do? Black women are the highest in returns and refunds. So it may seem like, oh yeah, black women are spending so much money on hair, but I feel like y'all getting returns and cashbacks more than y'all are actually buying the bundles. And it's not everybody. Don't get mad. You can fight in the comments. Just be respectful, girl. Don't be rude. You ain't gotta call me out my name. You ain't gotta talk about my mom or my kids.
Hi, I'm Diamond. I'm a black woman who spends hundreds of dollars on my hair every month. I've even had my own YouTube channel on here since I was 18. Every year, I spend about $3,000 on my hair, and every year, that price is going up. So, at the age of 23, I've spent almost $30,000 on my hair, but I'm definitely not alone on this.
On average, I probably spend anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 on my hair products.
I spend about $2,000 a year on hair, which is crazy to me. $7,000 to $8,000 a year.
Like $2,000 a year on products, like seriously. African American consumers dominate the entire beauty industry, contributing to about 85% of all sales in the US in 2017, even though we only make up 14% of the population.
Market research firm Mental
values the black hair industry at $2.54 billion. But that estimate doesn't include hair accessories, wigs, weaves, extensions, electric hair care products, hair care services provided in salons or by individuals, or products sold through salons. If the data included these products, the $2.54 billion figure would be much, much larger.
But before we dive into the business of black hair, let's talk about the basics. There are tons of ways to categorize and break up the black hair industry. To keep it simple, let's talk about the two biggest subgroups: the business of weave and extensions, and the business of keeping up your real hair.
When it comes to real black hair, there are two main types: relaxed and natural. Natural hair is essentially the way it grows out of your head. Within natural hair, there are three main types based on your curl pattern and texture: 4, 3, and 2. Afro hair tends to fall under the 4 category. Then there's relaxed hair. This hair has been chemically processed to alter or remove the curl pattern.
Both relaxed and natural hair can be put into protective styles. These are styles that require extensions like braids, weaves, and wigs. They're widely used to protect black hair from being over-manipulated since it's so fragile.
Most black women dish out big bucks on their hair, regardless of whether they have natural or relaxed hair. Weaves, wigs, and extensions are the most expensive type of protective style. Depending on the quality of hair, a weave or wig can run you anywhere from $200 to $2,000, and anywhere from $50 to $300 to install it. Extensions aren't the only products that black women spend hundreds on either. While it may sound counterintuitive, one of the biggest driving forces behind black women spending so much money on our hair is the natural hair movement. While almost every aspect of the hair industry is on the rise, the sale of relaxers are down 26% since 2006. More black women are opting to wear their hair naturally curly and throwing away the relaxers. But that also means spending a lot more money on natural hair products to care for those curls.
Women across every single culture spend so much money on hair, beauty, products, and all of the things. But for whatever reason, when black women do it, it seems to get everybody's booty cheeks really, really clenched and super tight. When other women spend $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 on hair, it's like, oh, it's luxury. Sis worked hard for that. Her husband's Elon Musk. Sis worked hard. This is luxury. But when a black woman does it, it's irresponsible. It's ghetto. And it becomes a national debate that everybody's talking about. But the thing is, as somebody who was in this hair industry for over a decade, standing behind a chair with the majority of the women that worked around me charging $1,200 for hair color when their clients are walking out with wet hair and tipping them $1,200, that was every single day. And in the midst of me hearing my clients say, oh girl, it's just $1,800 for the colors. Like, oh my god, are you freaking serious? Because Jackson gave me $3,000. Girl, I'm about to go shopping, but here's some money for you, and gave her over $1,000. Meanwhile, I swear to God, I'm standing in my studio going back and forth with my client about why she's being charged for me coloring her bundles. She thought it all came together. Meanwhile, this woman just paid almost $2,000 and almost left a $1,800 tip, close to it, and walked out with wet hair, did her hair at home. She paid for highlights and a deep conditioning treatment. No questions asked. But I'm standing here going back and forth with a black woman about $350. That was one of the lectures that I got from the cosmetologist that worked right there, because just like I heard her conversation, she heard mine. She was disgusted by what she heard. She was like, Sam, why don't you just start working with me? She like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but maybe you shouldn't work with, maybe you should diversify and work with more than just black women. And this isn't an attack on black women, but I just want us to have a real conversation. That's a myth. It is not true. Black women do not spend the most in hair. But this is where people are getting confused. because black women are the main consumers and the main people baited for hair products. Hey, listen, that's what they're talking about. That has nothing to do with the hair salon. Black women are not the #1 consumers of hair care services and getting their hair done. Absolutely not. Black women do not value the hair salon, the field of cosmetology in any way, shape, or form. The majority. Obviously, if you do, I'm not talking to you, girl, relax. When you really think about it, every 5 minutes black women have a brand new hair product to use and to put in their hair. For example, remember Shea Moisture? Shea Moisture was the #1 thing that all of the Team Natural girls was like, oh, you use this, you put this because no heat in your hair and this and that and no heat. Shea Moisture was on the front line of no heat, no nothing, cold wash, all that shit. But well, you look at this, they got silk press products. Now they have heat protectants, things for you to shampoo, blow dry, flat iron your hair, all of the things. You know why? Because it was a fad. It was a cloud that moved on, just like TikTok was a cloud that moved on. I got a TikTok page, but I never got super active in it because I'll be knowing stuff, and I could sense, like, seriously, all jokes aside, I could sense that it's not something that had the longevity. It wasn't. And it's the same thing for the hair industry. Like when people are constantly, oh, black women spend this much money on hair and black women spend this much money and they waste hair, and every time you go online you see a different video of somebody like, oh, black women, why do you always wear weaves? Why do you always have weaves? Are y'all isolated from other parts of YouTube? Like there are sections of YouTube where there are women of other races that wear way more hair extensions than us. I have been living in Las Vegas, Nevada since I was 16, okay? Going back and forth back to Detroit, and I lived in Florida for a minute, but whatever, I've been out here for a long time, okay? The majority of girls out here and from other races, they all wear hair extensions, all of them. They just don't wear sew-in weaves. Not that it's a problem, but that we have different hair textures and our hair is stronger. It can take braids and things like that a little longer. It can. So, but they're not wearing braids and stuff in their hair like that. They're not. So instead of wearing braids, they got eye-tips and Q-tips, infusions, micro links. Those have been around for ever. Like I'm gonna put some videos of me doing it like 7, 8, 9 years ago. They're so old, y'all. And they're not for everybody, but for whatever reason, every time you go on social media, y'all just believe the first thing that everybody puts in your face. That is why you have the statement like, oh, black women spend the most money. It's not that black women are just being taken advantage of. It's that black women are easily manipulated. It's so easy to throw a new product in front of black women's faces and be like, hey, this is for black women, it was made only for black women, here you go, spend all of your money here, and then y'all gonna run and do it. Just like, notice how, and I do not care, I'm not saying don't go buy her products, I'm not saying go buy them, I don't care, we just having a conversation, girl, relax, because I know the Cardi B fans about to have an attitude. Girl, relax. Yes, Cardi B's hair is long and beautiful, but what y'all have to understand and what y'all really have to look at, and stop me when I'm lying, the reason that Cardi B has long hair has absolutely nothing to do with the hair product that she about to sell y'all, that all of y'all about to go buy and then complain that stuff is expensive and what y'all always doing, right? But when you really pay attention, even with this promotional video here,
Took me about since 2016 to now to grow my hair. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm using for it because I gotta test it out first on myself. This is Belcalis, Bronx girl, mother of 4, walking down the block, being the baddest bitch. I am very passionate about this and I really love this shit.
And are we building inside the hair, or are we cutting the outside, or maybe we do both?
We're doing everything. We want bitches here to grow. Something that I've been working for such a long time. When I was younger, I really used to hate my hair. Now that I'm older, I grew to love it, appreciate it, and it's really a part of me now. This is fucked up here, you know what I'm saying? This is natural, strong here. Bro, good.
When you look at the promotional video, you can see that she has her hair in what? In braids. And the braids are sitting up under what, baby? A weave. The sew-in that black women are so against, that's so bad, that's so harmful for our hair, that is just so horrific, and you just don't love yourself as a black woman if you wear a weave. That's how this woman grew her hair. This woman is not, she has a nanny. She barely cooking dinner for her kids. Not like that. I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. She has a nanny. Do you really think that Cardi B is the one blow drying and flat ironing or blow drying and braiding up and putting her weave in? No, she's not. Other professional cosmetologists or other professional hairstylists, whatever, that do all of the things that I tell you to do, that is how this woman grew her hair out. And guess what? Cardi B's a millionaire. She's not keeping weaves in for 6 months. She's not. She probably barely has the weaves in for a couple of weeks. She combs her hair on a regular basis. She keeps her scalp clean. All of the things. It's not because she has a weave in her hair. Because if that, I mean, it's not because of the products that she was using. Because if that were true, right? Remember, research science is saying, if that were true, we would not have other black women that look just like you doing the same exact thing, getting the same exact result like this video. So as you just saw there, that is a woman who has been going to a cosmetologist on a regular basis, and by her following all of the cosmetologist's rules, which most likely match the things that I teach you here on my channel, and not greasing and buttering her scalp up all of the time and all of the things that y'all are doing, keeping up with her maintenance appointments. Look at how her hair looked when she got the braids taken down. So she clearly had maintenance. Her scalp is not dirty. It's not Christmas time with flakes falling out of her scalp. The scalp is clean. Everything is ready to go, and she's retaining length because she's following directions. It has nothing to do with hair products, because if that were the case, then she would be saying in this video, oh, her hair grew because she was using Cardi B's stuff. And hopefully I'm able to find a whole bunch of different compilation videos that y'all can see of other black women taking their weaves out and their hair being super long. So again, when we're constantly having the conversation about, oh, well, black women are always being manipulated, or oh, black women spend so much money in the hair industry and we're so tired of spending money. Nobody has manipulated black women into spending money. Black women are easily marketed to. Every time you see a new product pop up, you run out to go get it. So let's be real, let's be realistic and have this conversation, because I love you, and this isn't a video to attack black women, but it is a video to make my sisters stop being unreal and unauthentic and really have the same accountability that you want the rest of the world to have for us. Stylists, in the comments, know that this price difference is real. You know that I'm not making it up. And if you've ever paid for hair extensions or color services, can you do me a favor and leave that price in the comments, so that way we can see like the different prices, right? We can see the differences in prices, and this is for everybody. Comment exactly what you got and how much it costs, because I really need people to see this price difference. I'm sorry, but to me, the problem in the hair industry is not that black women spend too much money on hair care services. For me, it's that most good black cosmetologists are expected to have budget-friendly prices instead of being able to charge for the level of education and skill that they actually hold. And if they do, they bougie stuck up and think they too good for everybody. And this, I don't know, I'm sorry, but this is the conversation that we really should be having. We shouldn't be going back and forth about, oh, how black women are just being done so bad and the things and all of that, because the thing is, why is it that it's only one side of it? And if you don't agree with me, that's okay. I promise I'm not gonna like squabble with you in the comments. I'm gonna just heart your comment if you get to, like, I'm not gonna delete you. But I really want to know, like, of course there are a bunch of super dusty cosmetologists, I know. That's why I never worked in a normal professional salon. I always worked in like a studio salon so I could be by myself. I know it's some dusty cosmetologists out there. I know, I'm not talking about them, right? Why are we able to talk about, oh, these brands are taking advantage of us and this person is taking advantage of us? Nobody is taking advantage of you when you are the person holding a card in your hand. And not only are you holding a card in your hand, you got AI, you got ChatGPT, you can ask questions, you got Google, you can do your research, but you choose not to. So is that somebody taking advantage of you, or is that you being irresponsible and not using the resources that you have at your fingertips to make sure that you're making the right purchases and the right choices, right? At the end of the day, good cosmetologists have always been here, but we've also always been underappreciated, and we have so many filthy McDusties on social media, and we have so many other people here on social media that kind of play costume party to be a hairstylist. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Where do you think stuff went wrong? And make sure you drop the prices and all of the things in the comments. Let's talk in the comments, but be respectful and don't be rude talking about my mom.